What's up, guys? I'm here to talk about SWV and Escape. There's lots to get into, lots to talk about, so let's get into it. Um, let's start by saying that this episode was a lot of focus on how to put together these types of shows. So these types of shows are very difficult um to put together. Like, you have to figure out so much. You have to figure out lighting. You have to figure out sound. You have to figure out what musicians you're going to use. You have to create a rehearsal schedule and location and manage and maintain that rehearsal. What is the stage going to look like? Where are we going to be standing? Where are we going to be placed? Who's going to go first? What order are the songs going to go? Because what they mentioned before is very true, in the sense that you have to figure out the exact order so the songs will flow smoothly, so that you're not changing up the energy of the show. You want to keep the energy high, take the audience on an emotional roller coaster. It's just so much to figure out. Wardrobe, what are we going to look like when we're up here? Does it clash with the other group? Is it on the same type of level as the other group? As far as our appearance, what is our choreography? Are we going to have dancers? Are we going to have, which DJ are we going to have? Like, it is a lot. For those who don't know, I sing professionally, so I have my own band, so I have to figure these things out, and I have to do it by myself, and I'd be freaked out. I could only imagine trying to figure this kind of thing out with somebody like Tasha. There's no way. There is no way. Thankfully, SWV has kind of figured out their rhythm and their work ethic and what that's going to look like, their work relationship. When it comes to Escape, in my opinion, anything with more than one head is a monster. Anything with more than one head is a monster. So, it would be easier if somebody had just established who was in charge, and that would just be it. That would make life a lot easier with these girls. Definitely. Because right now it's an ego battle. It's an ego battle. All right. Each woman has their own solo endeavors. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is the communication. All of these things would go so much smoother if Tasha specifically would communicate how she feels. And I do feel like she puts out like this narrative that Candy is at fault. But then I also think that because Candy knows that she is Tasha's villain, even when Tasha isn't saying much, Candy naturally takes it on, and Candy is a pretty defensive type of person, where she feels the need to explain herself. I'm that way too. And so even if you're not really saying my name, I'm going to think you talking about me, and I'm going to feel a need to defend it. So it's problematic. It's problematic. But it's a lot that goes into a tour, and you definitely need the conversations, because it's a lot of decisions that have to be made. It's a lot of money that goes into it on the front end of these types of tours. All right. Let's talk about Lily and this erotic novel that she's coming out with, Sister Hot. Lily is a trip. Lily's funny. I really like her. I like her energy. This book puts me along the lines of Corinne Steffen's book back in the day. I remember that was like super popular. I mean, whatever you into, girl. I don't plan to read it. I'm not really a fan of feeling that way and not being able to handle it. if you know what I mean. But I think it's gonna sell. And I enjoyed Corinne Steffens' book back then, back when I was into reading that type of stuff. But now I'm cool. I don't need no extra help getting to that point. I love how just down to earth Lily is. She straight up just grabbed a red cup, like, you good? Because I don't want to do no dishes. And I'm like, Lily, girl, I feel you, girl. I don't want to either. All right, let's talk about Taj. I love how she gave a little more of her backstory with when she lost her job as a singer. She had to go and work at a coffee company and make $9 an hour. Can you imagine making millions of dollars in entertainment and doing what you love, and to lose your job and go to a coffee company and make $9 an hour? Like, you know how humbling that is? I can't even wrap my mind around it. Taj, I don't know what was going on at the store. Her buying this meat, a meat tray, I guess. It had no nothing but just meat. That had me crying. Once again, I love Taj. Taj is serving looks, y'all. Y'all better pay attention. She's serving looks in this season. She had a lot of cute different looks, and I don't know if you guys have been watching her lives. She's popping. She's showing up with the different looks. I love it. I like playing around with my looks. If you're on my page, you'll see 1,000,001 different looks, and me playing around trying to figure out different things I like and don't like. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. All right. Let's get into Coco. Coco been cool these past few episodes. She been chilling, and we know Coco can go there. Coco was the villain in their reality shows. So I love how she said, look, I don't think my ego stepped in yet, but we know it's coming. We know it's coming. She showed it a little bit. That I saw 30 million records. You know, like, it's in there. And it's one of them things where you kind of got to just let her have it, because she can out-sing every one of them girls. And you know who the star is in their group. You know whose voice is the signature voice. You know who has that standout sound. And it's Coco. So it is what it is. She brought Jalen, and I could see that she's taking Jalen to different appointments and meetings and studio sessions and whatnot, so that he can get the exposure he needs. Jalen has a wonderful voice. He really does. And he has a very good personality, a great smile. I think Jalen's going to do well in music. However, I still think that Jalen needs to go to school. And Jalen needs to get that dentistry degree behind his belt as well. And I'm so glad Taj was able to speak to him in a way that he could at least consider what she's saying. And my opinion too is, boy, you think you depressed in college, you about to be depressed in this music industry, because the way they are, as fickle as they are with you, the way they treat you, they'll love you and tell you you're great, and then in the next second you are nothing. You never had talent. They never liked you. Like, it is so, I like to say that and I'm not even deep in it. I'm surface level in it. But I still say that it's like being in an abusive relationship, because one second you are great, you love what you're doing, everybody's happy with what you're doing, and then the next second, no. There was a group who said, like, you're only as funky as your last cut, and that's true. Anything mess up a show, and it don't even gotta be you that messed it up. Say a background dancer messed up, or a band member forgot something. If they show up, That's how they view you. It's a lot of pressure. Um, Especially with him being a part of the LGBT community. That comes with its own pressures in itself. So you have that going. And real talk, people talk a lot about people who are not in the LGBT community um, being cruel to the LGBT community, but then there are people in the LGBT community who are extremely cruel to each other, who will read the mess out of each other. And so he thinks that his happiness is going to lie with him singing, and it will to a degree, but it's going to be a lot of sad days. It's going to be a lot of insecurities. It's going to be a lot of people being rude and mean and nasty to you. And it's going to be a lot of trying to get opportunities that people don't think that you should have. There are very high highs and very, very low lows. Let's just put it that way. All right, off that topic. What else I want to say about Coco? Do I have anything else? No, I think that's it as far as it goes with Coco. I don't have anything else with her. All right, let's talk about Candy. No, before I talk about Candy, I want to get off into Tiny. Tiny always got these little smart alecky sayings. She do it like it's fun and cute, but she throwing shade too. I wonder if anybody ever get mad at her. Like on this episode, who brought this little meat tray? Or when she's talking about Tamika and what she's saying, like, okay, you know, I see your ideas. They corny but cute. It's a good start. You know, like she has little comebacks. If you pay attention and listen closely, you can hear certain things that she says, little smart alecky things she says. And I don't think she really means that by it. It's just cute, corny shade. But I wonder if anybody ever gets offended by it. Let's talk about Tamika. I am glad she is finding her voice. She is stepping out of her box as an adult, as a professional businesswoman, as an artist. I listened to her song recently. I think it's called Almost Over. Really like it. I really like her voice. And I think that sometimes when you're around someone, which I've experienced this, when you have a family member who is like a phenomenal entertainer and everybody's like showing all the fandemonium with that person, they tend to treat the other talented people around them like garbage, like disposable. And I wonder if that was Tamika's experience. Tamika tends to dim her light a lot, or maybe she just does not recognize her light because of how other people have treated Tasha for how amazing her light is, if that makes sense. And I'm glad she's starting to see her gifting, starting to expand and express and see what else she wants to get into. And she's speaking up, and it's so great to watch her do it. I thought it was hilarious when she said she likes to dress like a retired stripper. I feel her, like, you know, I'm gonna have some booty shorts on, but I'm gonna have a blazer on over. You know, like something just to show a little something, then I'm gonna cover it up. So I like Tamika. I find something. I know she did lie on Candy in the past, but I find something genuine about her, and you know, I really just do. All right, let's get into Candy. Is it me, or did they seem like they were showing a whole lot more of Candy singing in this episode? I felt like she was singing a whole lot in this episode. I believe Candy when it comes to this business and them talking about who was going to make the most money and whatnot, and then her having to be the spokesperson, but them being quiet and allowing her to take the fall later on. Like, I believe everything Candy says because she has been so open and she's not come across as a liar, and I appreciate that. I like Candy a lot, and I love that she gives us the real and the backstory, because they leave a lot of stuff out and they'll leave you to think that things are a certain way when they're not. And I be wanting a tea, and I be wanting an explanation, and I be wanting to learn from her business wise too. Like, you know, okay, so how does this really go? So yeah, I'm glad she does to speak on it. I'm glad she's saying out loud, like, no, we had a conversation about this. They're gonna try to put me out here like I'm the bad girl. And I could see the idea may have come from Candy, because Candy is a businesswoman, and in business they have certain laws and principles, and it's a culture, and that's how they operate. They have to operate from that. They're not operating from integrity in business or any of that type of stuff. So yeah. Now back to Candy singing. People have a lot to say about Candy's singing, and I thought it was just low down for Tasha to do that video and make fun of Candy's voice. Candy has a very distinct voice, and Candy's voice is the sound of Xscape, whether you like it or not. And as her group mate is making fun of her voice, Candy has made it much further than a majority of those women in music. She has. She won Masked Singer. She has huge hit records in multiple genres. And so whether her tone is a preferred tone of yours or not, Candy can sing. Candy's range is amazing. And Candy knows and understands music. In my opinion, I personally think that Candy should do a rock video. A rock album. Because in my opinion, I think rock music would be a better fit for her voice, because she has a little bit of a rasp to it. It's a twangy tone. I just like, even when she was on Masked Singer, the rock songs that she did, she bodied those. She gives me like a Tina Turner voice, where it's different, it's unique, it's kind of gritty, gutter. I don't know how to explain it, but I like her voice. I just feel like rock would be a better fit for her voice as a solo artist, and that's just my opinion. I want to hear a rock album, and because I think she would kill it. But she's in R&B, and she's very successful, period. So I get tired of this narrative about her and her singing. I like her voice. I look forward to hearing when she's hitting them bottom low notes that I cannot hit. I love hearing her hit those low notes. When she is up hitting whistle notes that a lot of people can't hit. She hits those whistle notes in Understanding. She hits a whistle note in Fly Above. The girl can sing. Now, whether you like it or not, that's your business. All right, enough about that. Now, let's get into Tasha and that snaky husband Rocky. Okay. Tasha really has a competitive spirit. She has a jealous spirit. She's uncooperative. She's completely shut down. And then when you step up, when she chooses to not step up to hold her power, when you step up in front of her, she'll gaslight you. In this moment, she's bully. She's a bully. I love when Candy says she's not saying it out loud, but on the inside, she's going crazy. And it was true. Candy knows these girls like the back of her hand, and I can tell, I can always see the energy is different with her on these shows as opposed to Housewives, because she grew up with these girls. They're like her sisters, and the stuff that Tasha and Tamika have gotten away with, Candy would have wrote them off a long time ago if they had not grew up together. And also, if those two girls, particularly Tasha, was not like a fan favorite in a sense, her voice. She's trying to stay in limbo. She's trying to keep them as a safety net. And I totally agree with what Candy has had to say as far as she's trying to treat us like we're Gladys Knight and the Pips. Like, no. You're being unfair. You're being inconsiderate. And it's time for you to speak up and say what you want to do. If you want to leave the group, girl, leave. You make it worse when you keep them in limbo. Goodbye. And if they could kick her out, they would. But I'm glad we're finding out the backstory. So now if they do decide to kick her out, we'll have a little empathy. Because if they had kicked her out, then we would have all blamed Candy for it. And I do believe that when she quit the first time, she told Tamika and Tiny, yeah, y'all can go ahead and have more kids. Make more babies. And, Candy, you can go ahead and do your little modeling thing you're doing. Like, she's mean. She's nasty. She's a church girl bully. And there are a lot of them. There are a lot of church kid bullies. They are emotionally abusive. They are. I watched that interview with Rocky and Tasha with Tasha K. I think a lot more is going to be exposed with Rocky, especially after having worked with R. Kelly, finding out that he allegedly was at the wedding with Aaliyah. That to me tells me that he knows a lot more about R. Kelly messing with women who are underage. And he may have even been a part of it and partaken in it, allegedly. I don't know. But I think a lot more, I think the door has opened and a lot more is about to be exposed with him. They are already talking about these side women. He stuttered the whole interview with Tasha K. He rerouted and deflected and finessed every answer. Never gave a straight answer in that interview at all. And tried to talk his way out and around every situation. And I just think he's really foul. And I think even more is about to be exposed. They say the truth comes to the light. And I think his day has started to, his day has come. Now, a part of me feels like Tasha is a battered woman. She gives me emotionally abused or maybe even physically abused. Maybe by Rocky, who knows? And it's like she's not even there. Like I said in the last video, something will occur and she will view it totally different from how it occurred. It's like she has trauma lenses on. And all of this may be coming from a place of trauma, where she's using other people as scapegoats for what she got going on. I don't know. I hate to think that Tasha's really just a mean and nasty person. I feel she gives me battered woman energy. I don't know if that's the case. But I'm open to finding out more. Yeah, I had to write down notes. It was so much to say. Let me know what you guys think. What did you think of this episode? What do you think about Tasha? Do you think she's being abused? Do you think she's abusive? I think she is emotionally abusive. And she's not used to her sister. Her sister may have been the only one who's ever had her back for real outside of the mom. And so she's trying to hold on tight and keep her in the place that she was before. Sometimes family will only see you as you were in the past. They don't really see your evolution. They don't see you growing up. They don't see that you're a different person. And so they have a hard time when you set boundaries, or they have a hard time when you start moving different because you're somebody new. You're not that old person anymore. Tasha needs to come to grips with that with Tamika. Tasha needs to come to grips with who she is and what she wants. And she needs to learn to communicate that outwardly and express it. She really lacks emotional intelligence. So does the mom. And it's just, I really feel like God is calling them to wake up and to be better. And that God is allowing these things to be exposed. And hopefully Tasha and her mom can have a breakthrough. And they can just heal and get on a different path. But I feel like things have been kept secret and kept under the rug, swept under the rug, for far too long. And it's time for the light to be shined on these issues, y'all. All right. Let me know what you think. Let me know about all your thoughts on this review. Hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. And thanks so much for listening. Once again, my name is Sherelle Unique, and I'm out.